Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Micro Podcast on Podcasting. I'm Christine Blosdale, your host. I am also a podcast coach and trainer. And today we are talking about one of my favorite subjects, and that's how to be a guest on a podcast show. Now, you might be saying, well, I thought this is supposed to be a podcast about podcasting and creating a podcast. And yes, it is. But one of the most important things to let people know where your show is and what it's about and who you're all about is to be a guest on other podcast shows. And did you know that there are so many shows right now that are looking for experts in your field and podcast hosts as well, so that they can exchange? Maybe you could be on their show and they could be on your show, and you can promote each other and promote the podcast show that you're on, and they can promote your podcast show. And it's just a great thing to do. But it's also wonderful if you're a coach or a consultant to let people know who you are and what you do and how you can help them. Now, there are quite a few resources out there, but I'm going to give you my top ones, the ones that I really love, the ones that I use personally. These are resources that you can use. Many of them are free. Some of them you might have to subscribe if you want to get up there and really get all the bells and whistles. But these are some of the best resources I have found on how to be a guest on a podcast. My number one choice is, of course, podcastguests.com. It is the service that I've been using for the longest time. And this is where I find my guests for podcast shows, but also this is a service that I use when I want to get booked on someone else's show. Podcastguest.com. I'll make sure that I have a link in the show notes, but check them out. If you're an author, if you're an expert in any field and you want to get on a show, you want to check them out because it's really easy to navigate directory of all the programs that are out there, all the shows that are out there, and how you can reach those podcasters directly and say, hey, I want to be on your show and you should have me on to talk about, I don't know, the micro podcast on podcasting. Another great resource is a website that I stumbled across, and I'm really happy that I did because, man, it looks so professional. It's so well done. It's called matchmaker.fm. Matchmaker.fm. Again, the link will be in the show note. But these folks know how to connect podcasters with great guests. And they do everything for you. They set up everything, your profile. It looks amazing. And they know how to connect the two of you together so you can form a beautiful relationship. It's called matchmaker.fm. Again, the link will be in the show notes. And extra bonus, to get started, it's free. We like free. $0 free. And speaking of free, another great free option is something called podmatch. Now, podmatch is really brilliant technology. Somehow they figure out a way to magically connect you to the perfect podcaster, but it works both ways. So if you're a podcaster and you're looking for great guests, you can use podmatch, and they're going to find you these amazing people and tell you all about them, what their social media, how many people they have on their social media, so you can see if you have them on your show, if they're going to help promote you, which, by the way, if you have a guest on your show, make sure that they promote the show that they're on. Make sure that they send out that link. Make sure they tell everybody, their aunts, their uncles, their cousin Ernie. Make sure they tell everybody that they're on your show so that you can get those listens, likes, and if you're on YouTube, those subscribes as well. And if you happen to be an agency, let's say you happen to be someone who represents a group of podcasters or a group of experts, you can also register as an agency and get multiple podcasts out there, get multiple guests on the podcast. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Just go to Podmatch. The link is in the show notes. Yes, I know. Get a nice profile picture. That's another thing. Before you start saying, I want to be a guest on a podcast show or radio show or whatever, you want to be interviewed, make sure you have a good headshot. Make sure you have something that brings attention to you. If you have a professional headshot or something that's fun, something that's clever, it's going to get you noticed, and that means you mean business. And that's what podcasters and radio hosts want to see. Well, that's all we have time for today. This has been episode number 22. That's right. It's my favorite number. So this is going to be my favorite podcast episode ever. Thanks so much for watching and listening. And of course, wherever you're getting this podcast. Make sure you like and subscribe, ring the bell, whatever you need to do so that you can be notified of more episodes coming out. Again, thank you so very much. And if you want more information on the show, you can go to themicropodcast.club. Check it out. And we have every single episode listed on that website. Until next time, happy podcasting.